Sure.
Cool. It's all yours.
Hey kids, this is Kelly and the main host of this show, Jack. And we are here today to talk about Yellow Submarine and Let It Be. And this might be my last visit, maybe.
It's up to you.
And so it's been an amazing adventure. It's been so much fun. We have so much to talk about today, so let's get started.
All right, awesome. Now, so we have short time to go, so we can't play around today.
That's right. No chit-chat.
Right. So let's start out. I'm dying to know about... So Kelly has done her playlist of Beatles songs. I'm dying to know the playlist.
Okay.
So let's do the playlist first.
Oh, you want to do the playlist first? Okay, you're dying to... Okay.
Playlist.
So I wanted to create a playlist just for myself to listen to whenever I want of my favorite Beatles tunes. And obviously some I like more than others, just like any human with any playlist they create. So let's see. I chose 40 songs, and Jack said that was light.
That's light for me.
Well, and it is, and I get that. But the cool thing is that I can always add more, right?
Well, you can.
I can always add more. Yeah. So let's pull this.
Are they in like an order, your favorite, or through?
No.
Okay, I was just curious.
Because I went through each album, and so it's probably in that order, is my assumption. Okay. So either I can say the songs out loud, or you can look at it. What do you prefer?
Hey, you say them. Surprise me.
Okay. So, If I Fell.
Okay. Great song.
Yeah. Tell Me Why.
Mm-hmm.
You've Got to Hide Your Love Away.
Okay.
Ticket to Ride.
Mm-hmm.
You Like Me Too Much.
Yeah, I think so.
I've Just Seen a Face.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
That's not your fave.
No.
It's overplayed.
That wouldn't be on my... It's not that it's overplayed. It's... I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It's just one that... Maybe it's all hype. Maybe it's because everybody thinks it's the greatest Beatles song ever. And maybe when they talk about it, it's the greatest song ever.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is. And everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
It's just... I don't know. Maybe that plays into it. But for some reason, I can't really put my finger on it, but it's not my...
It's definitely not my favorite.
My list.
I agree with you. I get it. I get it. But I wanted it to be on there.
That's cool.
Okay. Then switching to, I think Rubber Soul, Drive My Car.
Mm-hmm.
You Won't See Me. Think for Yourself. I'm Looking Through You.
Nice.
Okay. Revolver. Here, There, and Everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
She Said, She Said. One of my favorites.
Really?
I love that song.
Oh, that's cool.
When we were talking about that album, I was telling you that song gets stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So that says something,
that's
I
cool.
think. So I really like that song.
That's a little surprising for me.
Okay. You don't care for it as much? Not one of your favorites?
No, I like it. I like it. I think it's a great song.
Okay. I really like it. Good Day Sunshine.
That's one of my least favorites.
Okay. But I love that mixed meter.
Okay.
For No One.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow Never Knows.
Ooh, yeah. See, I didn't think you liked that one, so I'm a little surprised.
Okay.
Maybe I just understood you wrong. I thought you weren't crazy about that song.
So I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-listen to that.
Okay.
You know, some of these, I read the title and I can sing it in my head.
Well, that's great. That's cool.
But some of these, I can't yet.
Okay.
And I'll get to that point. So that's one, to be honest, that I would have to re-listen to remind you why I put it on here.
Okay.
To be honest. Okay. So, Sgt. Pepper's. All right.
Yeah.
So, Sgt. Pepper is on there. Lucy in the Sky, of course. Getting Better.
Mm-hmm.
I put Good Morning on there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, so remember when I first listened to it, I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, this is a very stressful song. And, you know, but it really grew on me. I like all the craziness going on.
Yeah. Does it make for a start to your very interesting start to your morning?
That's right. Yeah, it kind of depends. You know, maybe you need it to be like just jolted awake or something. And then I put the other Sgt. Pepper's on there. Yes. Because I liked that too. All right. So that's all from that album.
No Day. Oh, you don't like Day and all that. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just considered the pinnacle.
Okay.
Yeah, of Beatle creativity.
Okay, I'm going to re-listen to it. Maybe it'll get added. We'll see.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So Magical Mystery Tour album. I put Magical Mystery Tour.
Okay.
Hello, Goodbye.
Okay.
I really like that song.
Yeah, I like it.
It
it's
puts me in a happy mood.
Okay.
It's just I like the bass line. I just like so many components of it. Penny Lane, love that song.
Oh yeah.
All You Need Is Love, I put on there. It's not, to me, that one seems a little maybe overplayed. It's one of the more popular songs in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. I don't know, but I like it.
I love it. I think it's a great song.
It's but maybe I'm not as excited about it because I know it. Maybe I'm more excited about just my ears hearing newer things that I'm more excited about. That's it.
Oh, I Am the Walrus either.
Don't like that song.
All right.
Sorry.
I love that song, but it's all right.
It's just so weird.
I only see 4 on there from the White.
I knew you'd be upset. You're jumping the gun here. Looking over my shoulder. Okay. I knew you would not be happy. And we'll see.
All right.
Okay, we'll see. I know it's your favorite album. So, While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, since I've played that one, you just, you know it at a deeper level, and I like that one. Happiness Is a Warm Gun.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I like that one.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I Will. Okay. Holds a special place for me.
Yeah, I remember your story about that, yeah.
Helter Skelter.
Really? Nice. I love that one. Yeah, cool.
But so far, that's all I have from there.
Well,
now, what do you?
fine.
Now,
good.
Are there a couple songs that pop into your mind that you're disappointed that aren't on there?
I love I'm So Tired. I know that song.
Okay.
It's a great song.
Yeah. I hear you on that.
Yeah, I love that. There's the Ringo one, which is for some reason escaping my mind. I love that one too. Don't Pass Me By. That's Ringo's. I love that song. He does that. He does that in concert. We've seen him twice, I think. And I love that song.
Okay, I'll re-listen.
I just think it's a great song. There's so many. I mean, I don't know. I love the whole album. There's so much there. So to pick out, it's harder for me. Somebody one time, a guy that I watch on YouTube, he did this challenge and he said, hey, if you did a Beatles greatest hits, what would it be? And I couldn't do it. So he's like, well, what if you did a non-greatest hits? And I did that. And I did it within the requirements of one album set, and 60, or what was it? 46 minutes of music. Couldn't go over that. And so I could do that one kind of easy. But it's tough for me to sit and do like a greatest hits or say, it's like, because like, I love every song on every album, even Revolution Number 9 on the White Album. I love that too. It's it's creativity,
right?
But it's not one that I don't skip it. But when it comes up to it, I don't pay 100% attention to it because it's not a lot to pay attention to. But I listen to it, and it's like Within You, Without You. A lot of people say they flip the record over in Sgt. Pepper. They skip past that automatically, and I don't understand that. I think it's a great George song. I love that song.
Okay.
So there's just not many albums. There's just that really doesn't. But like now, Yellow Submarine, I will admit I'll listen to the first side. I don't listen to the second side because it's just instrumental music from the film. And in America, I listen to the British ones more than I do the American ones. Now that I was able to get them. On the American versions of like A Hard Day's Night and Help, they mix up the instrumental stuff with the regular song.
So you end up just kind of listening to it.
So you gotta listen to them anyway, otherwise, And we're on the British ones, all that's on the second side, just like Yellow Submarine. So you just listen to the first side and not listen to, Well, on the British ones, they did songs, they didn't do instrumental music, but so it's songs on both sides. But there was another American one that came out that had just the songs on one side and the instrumental on the other side. But otherwise, I mean, really, that's kind of, and I hate to sing all that out, but that song is just kind of a mess. It's not really a song.
Which one?
Revolution Number 9. It's kind of
I was kind of.
It was a Yoko inspired thing, and his first 4 solo albums they did together, and that's kind of what they were.
Okay. So, man, her influence was strong.
It was.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
anyway.
So don't be upset that there's only 4 songs from that album. I have a lot of Abbey Road songs because I think that's
I know you
my
said
favorite
your
album.
favorite,
I think so. So we've got Come Together, Something, Oh Darling, I Want You, Here Comes the Sun, Because, Golden Slumbers, and Carry That Weight.
Oh, excellent. Excelente. I think breaking up, but you're breaking up. It's just me. You're breaking up the
Ones that go together?
the thing at the end there, and I don't know. To me, it's hard to listen to one song on there that all go together to me. And it's just hard to pick out just one song. And I rarely do they do it on the radio. If they play it, even if they do it not on satellite, but they do it like on KSHE, they'll play the whole thing, the whole melody, and it's just hard for me to break it up.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's fine. If you don't like it all, you don't like it all. It's cool.
No judgment. No judgment.
Well, I mean, when we started this, really, you had a handful of songs,
right?
And now you're up to 40.
There you go.
Glass
and
half you've got a new appreciation of the Beatles and stuff. So I'm not disappointed at all in your list. Mm-hmm. As somebody who's listened to them since he was 13, I'm a little surprised other stuff isn't on there. But that's fine. Everybody can't be like me. You can't listen to all of it all the time.
Well, if we all like the exact same stuff, that'd be a boring world. So
it'd be a bunch of jacks.
So, okay, the Let It Be album. I've got Two of Us, I, Me, Mine, and Across the Universe.
That's it. I'm just saying. I thought maybe you had more to go and I cut you off. Okay.
No, that's what I have for now. But that's a more recent listen. So
that's
if I listen to that album again, I could add more. And then I don't have anything from Yellow Submarine on here. Let's see. What would I have put?
Yeah. Well, Hey Bulldog is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love Hey Bulldog. I think it's a great song. That's one of those where they got weird stuff going. They're saying here and here, just like out of the blue. And I'm like, is that planned or did we just say we're gonna leave it in?
There's kind of a lot of that on here in some ways. So should we switch to that album? Is that a good segue?
Yeah, because it's next in line anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
This was technically before.
I know. I didn't know.
No, it's fine.
So that's the playlist.
It's a good playlist.
I think it's a good playlist.
It is. There's albums that you've missed, but that's okay. So maybe later on.
I'm gonna listen to this for the first time today.
While
I'm driving, I'm gonna listen to my playlist.
It's a good solid list. It really is.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, let's talk about Yellow Submarine. We talked a little bit about that, just a little. Everybody knows, but just a little bit more info. So for you, it was the fourth film that they ever contracted to do, and they didn't want to do it. They didn't have time, so they would let it be an animated thing. And then United Artists came back and said, "Nah, I don't think so. You guys have not appeared in this movie. You're doing your voices. Doesn't really kind of count." So they thought it would hurt the chances of the movie in the theater because the Beatles weren't in it, and they didn't use their voices. So there's a little snip at the end, like 3 minutes, where Beatles are live action, and they filmed that and put it in at the end of the film and said, "There you go, we're in the film." That fulfills our requirement.
I feel like there's a lot of stories like this towards the end of their career as a unit. A lot of how do I want to say it? Just
chaos.
Yeah. Yes, and a lot of some of the songs that we're going to talk about on Let It Be, like 30-second songs and just stuff that seems just not thought through. One of the songs in particular, I'm like, this could have been a full-blown song, in my opinion. They could have really taken this run with it and it could have been a great full-length song. Right. At least a 2-minute and 30-second song, which is, I think, the average for... and so, it seems like, oh, well, we didn't finish it, but we'll just throw it on the album. Maybe I'm being presumptuous and saying
you're not with that one. There was a lot. That's why I said we could talk for a long time on that because there was a lot that went with that album. And we touched on it a little bit last time when we did Abbey Road, because some of the Abbey Road stuff was rehearsed for Let It Be, because originally Let It Be was coming out before. And it was going to be called Get Back. They want to get back to their roots, back as being a unit and a cohesive band and doing real music and not what they were doing, which a lot of solo stuff on a lot of these albums.
That would have been a great album title.
Yeah. Been excelente.
Yeah, so, I don't know, just a kind of an observation there. Seems like I'm not too far off track.
Nope, you're not.
But, so, Yellow Submarine, is not my fave. It certainly did not make the playlist.
It was not number one. The only Beatles album not to hit number one.
Don't love that song. So Only a Northern Song, I actually really like this song, and maybe I'll throw it on the playlist. Okay. It's odd, but I like it.
A George Harrison tune.
I like the organ, and I especially like the trumpet. I like all a trumpet player would be able to tell us the lingo, whether it's like triple tonguing or whatever they do, like that kind of sound that you hear on this song.
Yeah.
And so it's not a song I would necessarily think I would like, but I listened to it a couple times. I'm like, I like this.
I like it too.
I like this.
Song.
It's not a favorite song, but I liked it. And pretty dreamy, right?
Yeah.
You know? So I like that quality in it.
Okay.
So all together now reminded me of a children's song.
Okay.
And I don't know, in part because it counts numbers and ABCs, but also just the it has a childlike vibe in my opinion.
Does, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I wrote a whole album of children's music, but so it was nothing bad. But but it's just what it made me think of a little bit. Like, oh,
that was a song they did towards at the end of the movie when they had to they implanted themselves in there for a few minutes to meet that contract requirement, and that was a song they took the movie out with. Was all together now.
okay.
So yeah, they showed up and Blue Meanies are hitting the theater. Blah blah blah. What do? We go out singing.
Oh,
And it's like 1, 2, yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. I love it.
Okay. Not a fave, but when you know all the background info on a song, it can also, affect your opinion. I liked Hey Bulldog.
I love Hey Bulldog.
Now, what do you like so much about it?
I don't know. I just love that song. I love the way it's
cool,
put together. And the beat. And just, everything. It's got the and the roof, roof, and all that. It's got all that stuff going on in it. And yeah, it reminds me of one of my favorite Monkey songs. It's got a song called I'm Gonna Buy Me a Dog.
Okay.
And they're just horsing around. It's like, I don't know, they planned this stuff or were they horsing around? But, I'm going to buy me a dog because they sing the song. And these guys are off, Michael Nesmith saying stuff off in the back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you've probably not heard that one.
No.
But I love that song, our first album. I love that song. And this is, in a way, kind of structured like that. So I think maybe it might be the reason why.
Yeah. I liked the music in it, for sure.
Yeah.
Bass line and all that.
Yeah.
It's All Too Much. I liked it. I liked the horns. I hadn't heard it before. I hadn't heard any of these before except Yellow Submarine and All You Need Is Love. But I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. What do you think of it?
I love the first side. I love everything on there, but it's new stuff.
But this song, It's All Too Much. Do you like that one?
Yeah, I like it. It's All Too Much.
Okay.
Yeah, I like all of them.
Okay. So All You Need Is Love.
Yeah, which is not the new one, but
right, that was on something else.
That was a single, and then it was on Magical Mystery Tour.
Okay. I think that's a good song.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So I just said, these songs, most of these songs, not all of them, not All You Need Is Love, are quirky. Mm-hmm. And I just said it's hard to believe the guys who wrote these songs, these quirky songs, also wrote In My Life, Blackbird, Oh Darling, some of these deeper thinking songs. It's just, I don't know if I know of a band that had that wide of a range in type of music. I mean, some beautiful ballads, love ballads, some drug-induced sounding cool stuff, that I like.
Yeah.
But then just some really crazy stuff, just really nutso. I mean, I really am not sure. Not that I know all the bands and have listened to all the music ever created. I don't, but of my limited knowledge of just tons of bands. This is just a very wide range of stuff.
Most bands have a formula, and you can pick their songs out a mile away because every album, even though they are a little different, every album is basically the same. Van Halen's it's the same sound. Even it's different with Sammy Hagar, but it's close to David Lee Roth years. Black Crowes, you can pick that all out. That's pretty much the same kind of stuff. The Cars, that's the same poppy type stuff. Heart, same
Yeah.
poppy type stuff, you
Uh-huh.
know. So most bands, they have this formula,
Yeah.
and they feel safe,
Yeah.
and they stick with that formula. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
And they stick with that formula because they feel safe, and album sales is a big thing.
Yeah.
And nobody would do what the Beatles did. Say, well, we're not touring no more. Screw this. We'll just make albums. You don't do that. It's
Right.
a death sentence. They
Yeah.
say, because you know
Sure.
you need that to sell the album.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Beatles did not, and they proved that. So they were just they were the perfect storm. They were they were just these 4 perfect ingredients put into a bottle and shook it up. That just
Yeah. Yeah.
You
well,
know?
maybe so. I mean, I think what you're saying is, maybe they were able to take more risks than other bands. Maybe other bands needed to stay with the known formula a little bit more. I mean, if they
Yeah.
can sell so many records without even going on tour, like you said, most bands cannot do that. Maybe they were just able to take more risks.
and they got to that point. They had the attitude of, you know what, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And they said it's like the White Album. Everybody complained about the White Album. They're like, hey, don't listen to it. But out of the gate, 2 million copies right off the bat. You know, and industry insiders and even George Martin's like, this is a lot of stuff. And even Ringo, it's too much. You say it's too much information on there. It should have been 2 separate albums. You know, and John's always like, well, take it or leave it. Don't listen to it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And Paul's like, it's the Beatles' bloody White Album. Just you listen to it and enjoy it for what it is. You
Yeah.
know, and that's the comment you hear him make. You know, and it's a great album. It works out perfect, and it's just one of those. I mean, who can go from stuff like Magical Mystery Tour? You got all these colors and Sgt. Pepper because they were in the same year, and you got all this like color and psychorom, what do you call that going
Just
on?
psychedelic.
The
kinda.
psychedelic stuff, which is Beatles are a big influence in starting that.
Yeah.
You got all that, and then all of a sudden you go, we're just gonna make regular songs now.
Yeah.
We don't want none of this. And we don't want none of this horns and blah da da. And they told George Martin that we don't want any of that. We don't want none of your influence and that stuff. Just leave it off, and we just want to do this. And that's what they did. And it was boom.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you can't do a double album. It costs too much. And you got songs that don't blend together and blah blah blah, and choom, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's just they were I don't know, they were the perfect band.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Just the combination they had was just a recipe for something incredible.
It's something that you'll never see again, ever. I really don't. I don't know what it. I can't put my finger on it. Nobody can, but I don't think you'll ever see the Beatles again, ever in any form.
Yeah.
For a band to come together and do what they did, especially to be how they had to make up, how they had to do stuff to get across what they wanted. Because nowadays you can go in and do it all on computers.
Yeah.
And IA. Now they're doing the IA thing, which is a big thing. Everybody's upset about that. And
so, yeah, I mean, look, when I was listening to the songs where the sitar was coming into the mix, I'm thinking, look, I'm sorry, nothing against the sitar, but I'm just saying, I feel like most bands, you have a member bring something like that in, they're like, yeah, that's a no-go.
Yeah.
But they just were okay with it and put it on albums. That's just a shocker to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why so many bands don't make it and so many bands break up because they, I think normally the other guys would be like, we are a rock band. We are not gonna have this style that is just out of left field.
yeah. Yeah.
But they're like, no, bring it on, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I think that helped them succeed.
Right.
So, okay.
All right.
Switching gears.
Yeah, we'll come try to keep on our
Okay.
time limit if we
Okay.
can. We'll try to do it. All right, next up is Let It Be. And this is the third movie that the Beatles were doing. Would have been the soundtrack to it. It was, so the idea Paul had, let's all just get together and we'll go in a big studio and we'll make this album. We'll bring this crew in and we'll have them film us. And we'll make an album. We'll make new songs. We'll make an album. And at the end of it, we'll do something, like a live concert. Because they haven't played in so long. We'll do like a live concert at the end, in the film that way. And it'll be this great experience. And everybody's, okay, great. So they got this giant warehouse and filled it up. It was empty. They put lights in there. If you watched the movie, they put lights in there and they had this little stage built. And there's just all this sound. It's just echoing in there and it's not sounding right. And they're in there and they come in and they're like, Ringo comes in the morning cameras, how you doing today, and stuff like that. And they know they're being filmed, and John's like, it's all this pressure you come in, and and they were used to coming in the studios later in the afternoon and recording, and now they're in there early in the morning to accommodate the filming schedule. And they have bright lights in their face, and they got this giant studio, and they're under pressure to think up songs. And he's got this thing going on with Yoko, and John and Yoko was in a car accident, so at one point we moved a bed into this little makeshift studio for her, and and her presence is always there, and that really influenced the rest of the Beatles, because there was a rule: no girlfriends, no wives. Which is, we go in, we make music, and we go home, and that changed. So that put a monkey wrench into the whole thing.
Why didn't the other guys say, this is, you're breaking the rule?
They did, but we're at the point again where everybody's like, I'm just kind of done. I'm done being a Beatle. We've been doing it for 7 years, and it's kind of done with it.
So, is it a myth that she broke them up? Or she probably played a part in it.
I think she played a very big part, because she was always in John's, you're better than they are, you should do this. And, even, John came in one day and they did Revolution number 9. It's like, this is how the Beatles should be making music now. And it's this avant-garde stuff, because that's what she was into. So, of course, he was in love with her, so he was into that. And, and so that's what they did. Like I said, his first 4 solo albums, that's what it is that kind of stuff. And so she's always there, and she's saying this and saying that. She even got in on some songs, and they normally don't let other people, this was a big thing. Sneaking Eric Clapton in for Abbey Road was a big thing.
Yeah.
And then for this one, they brought in Billy Preston, and to play piano, and that was a huge thing, because even singles that were released, say the Beatles with Billy Preston. Nobody gets credit on a Beatle album, but Beatles. So that was a huge thing.
So how did his solo albums with the avant-garde style, how are those received?
Not well. Especially the very first one. Not well. So the first one was called Two Virgins. It has him and Yoko on it. Comes in a brown paper thing they made him put on there, which he got extremely upset about. And then you pull it off, and neither one of them have any clothes on. And then the music that's on there was not even up to the standards of Revolution number 9. It's a lot of like them talking, her doing her stuff, and sounds of other things and stuff like that. So it was not perceived very well. Yeah, the other Beatles really had no comment on it. They didn't want to touch it. And it came out during the Beatles' time, and they were not crazy about it.
Okay.
But John thought, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And,
so interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So, but they wanted to just do this, and they thought, we could do this, and then they got in there and found out it's too much pressures. The sound's not right; it's echoing, and the acoustics are way off, and the lights are in your face, and they're demanding you do this, and it just got to where it was sitting down, trying to do a song. Him and Paul was just not as easy as it used to be.
Yeah.
They used to write in Paul's living room and stuff, and now it just wasn't as easy anymore. But the cool things about it is you saw Paul invent Get Back. So he's in one of the scenes, he's in there and he's strumming the chords to get back, and he's just doing some weird words. And then throughout the rest of the movie, you see him actually develop that into the song that it is. So that is really fantastic there. That's really cool. But the rest of it's a lot of like fighting. George quit, and they had talked George back in. Ringo quit, brought him back in. And, Paul and George got into this little fight, and George is trying to explain himself, and Paul's just playing his bass and just like not really listening to him. He's like, not even listening to him. So, George just, at one point said, okay, I'm leaving, bye. And got up and left, and nobody paid attention. And then a little later on, they're like, where's George? And they found out that he quit.
Okay.
So, and they had to talk him back, coming back in, and he did. But, it wasn't,
the writing was on the wall.
Yeah. It was way on the wall. Yeah. So, but, so anyway, it was, this album came out later on, and they did it. It just was not working for them, so they shelved it and said, forget it, it's not going to work. George Martin said, I can't do nothing with this, guys, And John said, I do not want violins and Vitrolas and all this stuff on here. We want this just pure sound.
Okay.
And, so don't put none of your stuff on it. Leave all that stuff off. And So it wound up getting shelved, and then later
Okay.
on, after they split up, they brought in Phil Spector, who
Yeah.
took over, and he kind of did what he wanted, and he added a lot of the stuff the
Okay.
Beatles didn't want in there.
Okay.
And John listened and said, "We got all the stuff on here I don't want on here. I don't want violins. I said I don't want it on there.
Yeah.
You know."
So how could he just take the
do it.
liberty to do that?
Because they hired him as a producer, and they just didn't care anymore. And so he
Okay.
just kind of did it, and then he released it, and nobody was really happy with it. None of them were happy with the end result. So this is all pretty much Phil Spector finished up,
Okay.
put it together the way he thought it would sound good, and
Okay.
it got released a month after the Beatles split up.
Okay.
And and they were like, they were asked about it, had nothing to do with it.
So when it was released, did the world know that the Beatles weren't
Yeah.
together anymore?
Yeah.
So how did ticket sales were they huge because people knew it would be the last album, or was it not as...
they were huge. This is, I think, 2 million copies right out of the
Okay.
gate.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Usually when a band splits up, it's usually a big seller, or somebody dies while they made that album.
Yeah.
It becomes a huge thing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody really respected anything that John did. And then when he got shot, Double Fantasy had already been out for, I think, 3 weeks. And after he got shot, all of a sudden it's a Grammy album. You know, and before they were like,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this came out and
Yeah.
everybody knew this is it for the Beatles. So yeah,
Yeah.
they flooded and of course
Okay.
and bought it. And later on, Paul went down like 15, 20 years later or something, and did that naked version, which where he takes off all the instrumental type albums off of there, and more of the way that the Beatles wanted it to be, but it's still not the way they wanted it to
Yeah.
be.
Completely, not
Yeah,
completely. how
the
they
Paul
wanted
just was aggravated, so he said, "Well, this is going to be,
Yeah.
this is how it should have sounded."
Yeah.
So he took that stuff off.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
You want to talk songs?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I really like Two of Us.
Okay.
For a few reasons. It's happy, it's upbeat, it's great driving music,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
and I really like the harmony. Like I could see myself singing that with somebody and just playing acoustic guitar.
What?
So that's a great one. I had not heard it before.
Okay.
Dig a Pony, I like the chorus. I don't care as much for the verses. But it really has forward motion in the chorus, and the bass line has more momentum to it,
Okay.
and I kind of latched on to the chorus. Across the Universe, I'd heard a cover before. I can't remember the singer, but a female singer covered it. I think this is a nice tune. Sweet, simple melody. I like it. Do you like that one?
I like it. John thinks it's his best song.
Really?
Yeah, he always thought that was the best song he did. It started out on a charity album for wildlife.
Okay.
And so if you listen to the original version that came out on that album, it has birds and stuff in the beginning of it. Hear their wings and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then it goes into the music.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different than what this version
Okay.
is. Yeah.
I think it's a really nice
I
song.
like it. It's good. I like it.
So I Me Mine. So the verses are in 6/8 meter and the choruses are in 4/4. So that's kind of fun. Just the tempo changes are also interesting. So I liked both the mixed meter and the tempo changes in that one. I think you like this song?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a pretty cool song. It's not a favorite. I don't gush about it, but I liked it. So talk to me about Dig It. Only 50 seconds long, and listing all of these either organizations, groups, or individuals. So
Just a John Lennon thing. Some of this stuff, if you watch that documentary, which is really long, you hear all this stuff and more. There's lots of songs that they did that they were considering putting on this album.
okay,
And this might have been one that might not have made the final cut, but since they gave up on it, it all just kind of got shelved. There was songs that were meant to be on here that didn't go on here, and so Dig It's just one of those John Lennon things he comes up with, like on the White Album. He has some of those short little songs, you know,
Okay.
like Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Kind of same thing,
I hate that
you know.
song.
I know you do, but but Dig It's kind of the same. It's just a John Lennon ism. It's just he, you know. Yeah.
There's just so this and Maggie May. I'm jumping ahead 2 songs, but Dig It and Maggie May, in my opinion, could have been full-length, awesome songs. I think, for Dig It, you take the people or organizations he's listing. I mean, I don't know why he's listing those, but it's a great idea for a song.
Right.
If you figure out who you're listing and why you're listing them. And Maggie May, again, I jumped ahead, but 40 seconds long, this could have been something really fun, I think.
It could have been.
And maybe they just, like you said, they were done, and so I get it. But I think, ooh, missed opportunity maybe.
Right, and Maggie May is really technically not a Beatles song. It's one of these things that Liverpoolians used to sing on street corners.
Okay.
It's about a prostitute.
Oh, okay.
So if you read the words, you'll get it. Yeah, so that's kind of what that is, and it went for a long time on there as a public domain on the album, and then they switched it over and credited it to the Beatles. But so that's what that is, and that's one of those things that, during the whole process of making this, it's one of the many songs that they did. And it's just something they did and just got tossed on the album.
Yep. It's a theme. Tossing it on the album is a theme.
And John wanted it to sound, like you're in the studio. He wanted, if you were actually there with them.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, you'd hear all the chatter and all the stuff they do to make an album. So that's one of the reasons that's on it.
Okay.
To kind of fulfill that deal.
I see. Yeah. All right, I get it. It makes sense. So back to Let It Be. So of course I've heard this song before. I really enjoy the guitar solo. It's such a nice guitar solo. It's just so appropriate for the song, and really liked that. And then, after listening to this song, which again I'd heard before, but I just thought to myself, Lordy, compare these lyrics to Dig a Pony. I've never seen a band that can have such meaningful lyrics and then such literally sounds like lyrics off the top of their heads.
And that's what Let It or Dig It was I
don't know. That just gets back to how many bands can pull that off, but they have such meaningful songs with such great deep lyrics, and then just some really crazy stuff.
Now, Let It Be was, Paul said his mom came to him in a dream and said, Paul, just let it be, let things be, because he's very stressed out because the Beatles are at the end, and everything's just, there's all this chaos and turmoil going on in his life, and he's just really stressed. And he said his mom came to him in a dream and said, just let it be, let things be, let it go as it's
kind of
go.
It is what it is.
You'll be all right. Yeah. And that's what inspired that song. So.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
His mom's name is Mary. She died of cancer when he was a kid. So.
Oh, so that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I never dug into those lyrics. So, okay, I love that. All right. So the next handful of songs. Well, so I've got a feeling I just put more traditional rock song. One After 909 reminded me more of an old-fashioned rock song.
That song they created in 1960, they have been working on and off
Listen
since.
to me, just hitting the nail on the head.
That's right, you did. Yep.
Okay. I didn't really care for that one too much. It didn't really grab me.
It's my favorite.
Are you serious?
It's my favorite.
Why?
I love it. I don't know. That's just got it just flows. I think it's a great song to just play if you're, like having a house party or something. And you guys just singing songs.
It's your favorite song on the album?
Yeah. It's he's trying to catch up with his girlfriend and got the wrong number for the wrong train and.
See, you have all the info on the lyrics that I don't have, which makes a difference, but that's cool. Okay, I hear you.
And a lot of people have done that. Even Willie Nelson did that song. I don't care for his version at all, but he slowed it down. It's a fast song. But yeah, they still weren't as happy with the final version of it. They've been working on it forever, but I love that song. I think it's great.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, The Long and Winding Road, is this a love song?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
It seemed like it. So many strings, like a fully orchestrated deal.
Which they didn't want, which Paul didn't want originally,
but it ended up being that way.
Yeah.
I think the strings had a nice touch.
I think they do too. And there's a lot of Beatles songs that, in 66 and 67 that have all that stuff. And I think they make them really good. That's George Martin's influence. He's like, let's add this and see
Yeah.
how it sounds. And they would bring in like 15 cellists. And
When I think, when I think back to all of the albums, I mean, they really experimented a lot. So, harmonica, brass, strings, organ.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot going on. And, maybe to the Beatles that got old after a while. But I do think it added a lot to their music.
Everything kind of got old to them. They wanted every album to be different. That's what they didn't like their early ones as much because it sounded too much the same.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted everything to be different. We wanted to be different. We don't want to do the same stuff because their big thing. They would go, we bought all the Elvis records over and over. The same stuff. It's the same stuff. We want to be different for our fans. We don't want buying the same record.
Well, and I think that's something to respect for sure, because they could say, hey, we know, this is working for us. We're just going to keep spitting this stuff out. And so it's cool that they wanted to experiment and try new things and give new music to their fans.
Right. And George Martin said as one of the biggest regrets of his time with the Beatles was they said we don't want singles off albums.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do new stuff. We don't want fans buying the same song twice.
Yeah.
And he's like, they could have had, instead of 22 singles, they could have had 80 singles because it all would have came out, it all was sold, it all went to number one probably. Yeah. And, but they didn't want to do that.
That's nice that they didn't do that. Yeah.
And that's, and it's like, I'm not, throwing anybody under the bus because I buy her stuff too, but it's kind of like, you got that one singer out there that resells, repackages, and sells the same songs over and over and over, and I think that's kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's cheating. They get an album
not as fair to the fans. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's, but we buy it, so you can't say anything. I stopped doing it a long time ago. I don't buy all the same thing over and over no more. Because I realize this is stupid. But, they were like, we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They bought it once. That's enough.
Yeah, right. I respect that.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of respect in a band saying that's why they didn't want to do greatest hits. They didn't want to do live albums, and those are big sellers for bands. And for one of the things that they'll always do is greatest hits and live because
live albums though. There's something neat about live albums. Maybe it depends on the band. So I can't say I, have a lot. I don't know. There's a couple bands I'm just thinking of right now where the energy of a live album is really cool. Or they took a song and made it so different that it feels like a totally different song.
And that's the ones that I like REO Speedwagon, Riding the Storm Out. Live, I love that song. The regular one on the album, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes just the energy of a live show.
Paul McCartney coming up. The 45 here was just a regular studio, and it's okay. But then he released the version as a B-side on it. Did it live in Glasgow. And, man, that's a great song. There's a lot more energy to it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool. So for you, Blue, a bluesy love song is what I have. I don't really love it though. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it didn't make the playlist.
It's okay. It's not one of my big favorites either. It's a George Harrison song. I like it, but he could have done better stuff.
Yeah.
If they would have, stayed on track, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right.
Because you see what he did on Abbey Road. The same thing could have been on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get Back. I like that song. I've heard it before. And so the talking at the beginning is what you were talking about with just wanting to have the fans experience kind of the studio environment. But I like that song, and I like what you said it stands for, of just wanting to get back to your roots. I think that's cool. And I liked that one.
And there's two versions.
Okay.
So there's this one on here that's cut off at the end.
Okay.
That I did live on the roof. And which is the big news of the world now is they're opening up.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I was gonna text you, but I'm like, why? Of course he already knows. It's not like I'm giving Jack some kind of Beatles news that he doesn't have.
Yeah, it'd be so cool to be able to go there again and go on the roof.
Yeah.
Because we walked by it and they're like, you can't go in there. You can't nothing. Now it's going to be a big museum.
You know what? Dude. You'll get back there someday.
Very creative of you.
You like that?
But the other version of Get Back is it's a regular studio version that plays out all the way. This one cuts off because at the police showed up. They were playing on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And they filmed, the director's filming the streets. You see all these people coming out and they're looking up and stuff, and all you can see is a little bit of the Beatles, but you can hear this music forever. And everybody's coming out and they're doing this. They did this concert they wanted to do up there, and they decided, we got to do this concert thing. Let's just go up on a roof and do it. And it's a cold English day, and George is like, I don't want to go on the roof. Like, we're going on the roof and doing it. So they kind of outvoted some. So they all went up, put their slickers on, and went up on the roof and did this concert with their freezing fingers. And you hear them talk about, like freezing fingers or freezing. I don't know if I can play anymore. And then it gets in there, and like I said, the police show up, and Ringo's always like, man, it was a missed opportunity. They could have came up there and said, get off them drums, you damn dirty hippie, and kicked them over and stuff like that. And they didn't do it because they're all nice and polite.
But so it could have been.
Hey, do you mind? Can you turn it down or maybe just stop? Because it's disturbing some of the other people. So if you don't mind, we'd appreciate
Very
it. Very
nice.
Just kind of move inside. And he's like, man, they should have escaped. And that would have been great. It would have been a great end. Come up there and just start taking guitars and cuffing people and saying, this
that would have been wild.
We've had about enough of you over the past 8 years, so guess what?
Yeah.
This is our opportunity. But no, it's just, hey, if you don't mind.
Yeah, too nice.
Appreciate it.
Too nice.
I mean, if it's too much to ask, we'll go away. But we were told to ask.
Wow. Wow, so polite.
And then Billy Preston being on there, and Billy Preston, I think, added a lot to it, and they did too. And there were rumors that he could have been the fifth Beatle, if they would have continued, that he might have stuck around. But they always said, no, it's just us. That was just a one-time thing. That was, again, George, and everybody's fighting us, bring a guest in there and say, hey, and everybody, calm down. Nice and, proper and stuff.
Straight,
we're all friends.
Straight,
So there you go. So
very cool.
And the thing is there is, I know you got to go, so I'm hurrying up, but there are a lot of stuff too that I didn't include for you to listen to that were singles only that came out around these times. That are great songs, like "Don't Let Me Down," one of my all-time favorite Beatles songs. That was a single, wasn't on an album. So there was stuff like that, but I didn't want to give you this big list and make it all weird and say, look, you got to listen to this album, then these two singles, this album, and then this single, back to these two albums and this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because it would have been too much. So I just stuck with the albums. And I figured, later on we could talk about the singles or something else, Sure. And I mean, if you want, we can always come back and we can do this again and go over the singles or go through the American albums because they're set up differently and there are some differences in the American stuff versus the English. And there's a lot we could do if you're interested in continuing with it. And if not, that's cool too. We can always talk privately about the stuff. And
not on camera.
Give you a list of all the stuff that you missed. And it's like Hey Jude. There's still lots. I mean, I could talk forever. I mean, like Hey Jude, I forgot to tell you, was on my list because I didn't want to forget, so I made a list of stuff not to forget. Hey Jude, the first song, and to this day, I believe the only song to use the F word on the radio and get away with it.
Really?
Yeah, it's in there, but you got to listen.
I've never heard it.
Paul was playing the piano and he messed up and he said,
oh, just because he messed up? It wasn't like a lyric.
Right.
It's just, okay.
Right. He messed up and he's like, until later on, he's like, go tell you engineers, we got to edit that out. John's like, leave it in there. Let's see if they find it. And nobody's ever.
Oh my god.
It took years for somebody to finally go, wait a minute, what did he just say? So a lot of people say it ain't in there, but if you listen to it, it's like I think the 236 mark. If you really listen to it, you'll hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you got headphones on.
Yeah.
That's why I say listen to these things through headphones when you do that kind of stuff. Experimentation.
It does make a difference.
It does make it, So there's still, there's tons of stuff that we could, I could go on about Let It Be forever. There's all kinds of songs that were missed that could have been great and made us an even better album and stuff, but, whatever. But anyhow, that's it. So we're done. We went through all the British albums.
Yes.
And if we do any more down the road, we'll see. Totally up to you.
Okay.
I've loved this. This has been great for me. I think and everybody that, I know you got a lot of comments, people saying that it's been a great thing and stuff, and really enjoyed it. But the viewership's pretty high on it. I think the last one's 75.
Nice.
Which is pretty good. And,
nice. So it's 20 of them are probably Grandma Judge. No, I'm just kidding.
She hasn't watched it yet because she can't
she
figure
doesn't
out
know how to do it.
YouTube. I gotta show it to her. But I showed her the first one we did, and she just loved it.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, and I've had people that's contacted me, and I know, like, man, it's great. You guys are a great team. I like it. It's really cool. Amy's like, oh, it's great. You guys.
That's cool.
She loves
that's
it.
Cool.
She thinks we should never stop doing it.
Well, I think I'll just say I think it's been really fun. It's been an educational experience for me. Yeah. Both hearing your commentary on it and the history of things, and also just having heard so many Beatles songs that I'd never heard before. And I will say one of the biggest surprises for me was just the wide range of stuff, music, lyrics, trying so many different new things. So it's pretty fascinating to me. So I think it's neat that, you know, you basically took a musician who only knew a little bit of Beatles stuff and had them listen to everything. And, you know, I don't know if I was able to bring anything to the table from the musician's perspective. I don't know. And I tried not to nerd out too much on some of the music stuff. I tried to contain myself, but I really enjoyed it. It was a great project.
Mixed meter's not a word I ever knew or thought I'd hear and know so much now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. So
I'm so excited to hear that. Yay. Awesome.
So yeah, it's great, man. So
it's been fun.
That's it. So that's it. She's got to go. I talk too much. So thanks for tuning in to this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Maybe you like this channel. You'll know when I get new content. Other than that, that's it. Sprinkle a little love out there on everybody, because there's not enough love out there. I've experienced it this week. Not enough love at all. And if you've got time, if you feel like it, do a good deed for somebody today. Could be anything. Give them a couple bucks. Buy them a cup of coffee. You'd be surprised. That guy on the corner, you buy him a hamburger and some fries. How happy that makes that guy. Not everybody's there because they're too lazy to work. Some people have real stuff going on in their lives. So mental illness is a real thing. Alrighty, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.